Welcome back, everyone. Let's go ahead and do a comparison between the Google Pixel 6 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra and see which specific phone you should go and pick up. Now, as you can see, they are almost identically the same phone, at least on the front. They look very, very similar. They're around the same size, but there are some differences between them. If you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, on the front of the Google Pixel 6 Pro, we do have a 6.71-inch AMOLED display, LTPO AMOLED display, and it's 120 Hz. Now, I think this panel looks beautiful. I still think it looks great, and I don't really think there's too much to complain about it. It's 1440p, and it's a very, very good panel. Hole punch display, curved panel, flat sides on the top and bottom. Not flat sides, but, not a curved design to the sides, for sure. And I love this design. I think it looks great. And funny enough, the S22 Ultra is almost identically the same thing if you guys couldn't tell. It has a little tiny bit bigger 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED display, and it's a 1440p panel as well. Now you have 120 Hz on this thing too. Here's the thing, I think both these panels are great. I do think the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra has the better panel, so that's a pretty big thing to keep in mind. But both these panels are great, and I wouldn't go from one phone to the other just because of the panel. Now, they do have a little bit of a different sides to them. Now, they both have, kind of the same sides to them. They both kind of feel the same type in the hand too, so one doesn't really feel thicker or thinner. They both feel very, very premium. Now, on the back, we do have a little bit of a different setup as well. So, on the Pixel 6 Pro, we have a triple camera setup with the standard glass back on the back, which feels premium. The Galaxy S22 Ultra, though, has this frosted glass back with a quadruple camera setup. So they both have wireless charging, IP certification, everything, but I would definitely say the S22 Ultra feels a little bit more premium in the hand. So definitely when you look at both of them, I would probably side with the S22 Ultra being the more premium one. However, the S22 Ultra has a trick up its sleeve, which is the S Pen. You actually have the capability of utilizing a stylus on your phone that's built in, which is really cool. The Pixel 6 Pro doesn't have it, but I love this type of capability. Having a stylus that's just built into the phone is amazing, and there's really not much more to say about it, but it's really cool, and I love that a lot. You also have things like Samsung DeX, which is something on the Samsung Galaxy under the USB Type-C port down here, which is also really cool. Now, another big thing is with the software. Now, this phone is getting, I think both these phones are getting 4 years of, OS updates and 5 years of security updates. For a Samsung phone, that's pretty crazy. For a Pixel phone, that's also very, insane. I will tell you though, the way I look at it, I really do like stock Android, and I think it's probably the one I would still prefer. I love having the fluidity of OS, and I love getting like day one updates. So if there's a new update or beta, you don't have to wait for it on a Pixel, which is so cool. You have a lot of capability, and I'm a humongous fan of Android and just stock Android in general. Obviously the S22 Ultra has Android, but it's a little bit of a skinned version. I think most of you know this by now, and it's growing on me. I like this version still. It's, I like it more than I used to. I still don't think it's perfect, but it definitely has a few more ways to go. But some people prefer this, and there's still some advantages for something like One UI. There are tons of features built in. Realistically, you're getting the same longevity of software. So one phone really isn't going to outlast the other one, which is really, really interesting. So we'll see what happens in the future, but as of right now, that pretty much covers it. Now let's go into a speed comparison between both these phones. The Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset inside of it with 8 GB of RAM on the base model, and it does go up to 12 GB of RAM. With the Google Pixel 6 Pro, on the other hand, has that new Google Tensor chipset inside of it with 12 GB of RAM on all of the models of the phone. So let's go and see which one is a faster phone between both of these. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you guys can see them. The Google Pixel 6 Pro is here. The S22 Ultra is here. All the apps are cleared out in the background right now. So let me go and clear them out. So there we go. Let's get into their phone calls. 3, 2, 1. I'm surprised to say the S22 Ultra is faster there. Messages. 3, 2, 1. Kind of the S22 Ultra was a little bit faster there in my opinion. Cameras. 3, 2, 1. And kind of the same thing, not really that big of a difference. Let's just go and take a photo. Pretty much the same thing. Let's just go straight into here. And it did look like the S22 Ultra was a little bit slower there, but pretty much the same thing. Let's go and get into Play Stores. 3, 2, 1. Really fast on both. I think the S22 Ultra was a little bit faster there. Scrolling through, let's see if there's a difference. And I think the Pixel 6 Pro kind of glitched up there a little bit. They kind of gave me the same thing. There's really not... I think the S22 Ultras, actually they're both kind of the same thing to be honest. Let's go and hop out of there. We do have a bunch of these Google applications we could probably go and open. We can open up Google Photos. 3, 2, 1. I would probably say the Pixel 6 Pro is a faster one, although I don't know if I've opened it up here, so that's a little bit of a difference. We have some of these third-party applications we can test. Snapchat. 3, 2, 1. I think the Pixel 6 Pro is faster. We can go into TikTok. 3, 2, 1. Probably the Pixel 6 Pro was a little bit faster there too, to get into all these other panels. Hopping out of there, let's go into Fruit Ninja. 3, 2. I guess I don't have that. Oh, right here, 3, 2, 1. Now, this is not like a crazy intensive game by any means, but it is still going to be interesting which one is the faster one. And almost identically the same. They both kind of got into the next panel at the same time, which pretty interesting. Let's go and hop out of this one. Let's go and get into some of these third-party applications again. Let's get into Dune 3, 2, 1. Oh, dude, almost exactly the same thing. And I'm sure the graphics are going to be roughly around the same thing too. Let's get into Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we have downloading content, loading. Pretty much they both crashed at the same exact time. That is so funny. So this game has just been crashing on all these other phones. I don't understand why that keeps happening. Snake vs. Blocks 3, 2, 1. So that's kind of an L on both, so I guess it really doesn't matter. It's funny they both crashed at almost exactly the same time. Snake vs. Blocks open up perfectly fine as well. Gameplay is probably going to be about the same. Hopping out of there, let's go and get into Stack 3, 2, 1. I will also add that I played really heavy intensive games, and that game was very annoying. I also want to add that I have played a bunch of heavy intensive games on both of these as well, and I got kind of around the same experience. Let's go and get into Thank You. So I will say, if you're trying to play super intensive games, I didn't really notice that big of a difference. The Pixel 6 Pro is a little bit faster there. Getting out of this one, let's go and get into Bofa 3, 2, 1. And I would probably say that S22 Ultra was much faster there. Getting into the next one, let's go and get into... To be honest, that kind of covers up a majority of the apps I did want to test. I will tell you, I really don't think one is faster than the other one. They are almost identically the same. I just couldn't really find that big of a difference. Really, the main difference you're going to see is that for the base models, you are getting more RAM. It looks like this one kind of refreshed here, but you're getting more RAM on the Pixel 6 Pro than on the S22 Ultra for the base models, but you can spec them out to be about the same. That's a big thing to keep in mind. So I will probably do a full speed test between these two, but I'll also do a full camera test, but let's go and kind of hit on them quickly. So on the Pixel 6 Pro, we have a 50 megapixel wide angle lens, 48 megapixel telephoto lens, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor. With the S22 Ultra, we have a 180 megapixel wide angle lens, 10 megapixel periscope telephoto lens, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Now, something that I've said for many, many years now with something like the Google Pixel's cameras, they're very good quality. They have a ton of capability, and I think the UI is a little bit smoother. It's not as clunky as something like the One UIs, but I will tell you, something I have seen with these specific cameras is that you don't have as many features on a Pixel 6 Pro camera even compared to the S22 Ultra, even compared to a Galaxy S10 camera. You're getting more capability from some of those older Samsung phones than this one. Even though the quality may be great, you have 4K at 60 on the front and the back, you are still getting, actually you have 4K at 30 on the front here, not even 4K at 60. So I will tell you, you're getting a better camera on the S22 Ultra for sure. For starters, you're getting 4K at 60 on the front, which is amazing. You're getting 8K capability on the back, which is even more amazing. But you're also getting a lot more capability. I mean, just look at how many more options you have on something like the S22 Ultra. There are so many features here, and this isn't even half of it. I mean, you have like Pro Mode, you have so many different things here, which is amazing. You do have Pro Mode on the Pixel 6 Pro, but I would definitely say with the capability and quality of something like the Galaxy S22 Ultra, it's a much more capable lens. Even though, like I said, the UI may look a little bit more clunky and there's more going on, it's way more functional and you're getting way more features from something like the Galaxy S22 Ultra camera than on something like the Pixel 6 Pro camera. So now this takes us to the end of the video, and to be completely honest, I kind of do think the S22 Ultra is the more flagship type of phone. When I hold both phones and I kind of mess with them, this is the phone that I'm getting the more impression that this is more of a flagship. But the Pixel 6 Pro is a very good phone. It's a little bit cheaper, but you're getting, I guess, I like the stock software. I love stock software so much, and this one is not as, One UI compared to the Android device. And I love that. I love stock Android. I love the updates. These things are going to be lasting around the same time, but you're getting, day one updates for the most part. Any developer beta that comes out, you can get it on here. And I love the support. I love the community, but the S22 Ultra is more of a flagship. This is a really good phone. Performance may be around the same actually on both. Everything else is about the same. I love the flagship capability, like with the S Pen. That is amazing. I love the way better cameras on the Pixel 6 Pro as well. You're getting around the same battery sizes as well, so not that big of a difference. But I'll probably tell you, if you want to pick up the phone and you don't care about the price, the S22 Ultra is probably the one I would recommend buying. It's more of a flagship. However, if you have the Pixel 6 Pro, you're planning on buying this phone, this is very close. For a little bit of a cheaper price tag, even in the used market, you can buy this phone, and it's a very good phone too. Like, if this was a 10 out of 10, this is like a 9.5 out of 10 in my opinion. So that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.